What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the newest newest rumor, whatever you want to call it, on the PS5, on the Xbox Series X, but this time, do it on both. I know most times I end up just covering one or the other, but in this one, we have possible release dates for both of them, where Xbox Series X actually comes out first. So I want to discuss all that, give my impressions on it, and go from there, okay? Really quickly, before I jump in, though, I want to promote our Discord server. If you guys have not yet joined, the link for it will be in the description below. A lot of awesome people over there talking about pretty much anything, games, movies, television, all that kind of stuff. So again, link for that is in the description below. So this comes from Video Game Chronicle, and they say that PlayStation 5 is going to release mid-November, the week that I believe kicks off November 13th. And they say that because reportedly Sony booked a substantial marketing spending starting that week. Okay, so I think they're linking it to that, but they say they have sources that are telling them that Xbox Series X is going to come first, possibly in the first week of November. Here's what they say. This is why we're waiting so long to hear about pre-orders and software lineup. Companies are waiting until they can be as sure as they can about what they can deliver to consumers. It's complicated time, and you would typically place a strong bet on PS5 arriving somewhere in the middle of November, but things can change very quickly. The site goes on to claim that this lines up with Call of Duty, this lines up with Cyberpunk, this lines up with Assassin's Creed, all that could basically launch alongside the PS5, plus Black Friday is around the same time. Ideally, you'd want to launch before the end of November if you want to capitalize on the Christmas sales window, as getting your product out before the final payday of the year is a key move. Indeed, after Black Friday, the biggest sales day of the year for online retail tends to be Cyber Monday, which is usually the first Monday in December. So, look, things are very, I mean, fluid is a word, but also it seems like things are kind of in, not disaster mode, but things are very kind of messed up this year, right? We've known that because of, the stuff that's gone on around the world. This is a very different year. This is a very different lead into next gen, right? We've already, at this point, with the PS4 and Xbox One, we already knew pretty much everything. You know what I mean? They're waiting so long this time. Everybody thought August would be the month, and August, by the way, is very late. I mean, originally it was probably supposed to be June, then it was pushed to August. Now here we are going into September. September, I think, will be the month. September will be the month we get the release date, we get the price, we get the pre-orders. I think that's the time. And like this article, like they go on to say, it's because of the stuff. They don't know how much they're going to be able to supply, which I do understand. That's what's very difficult is, Xbox, and I'm not anti-Xbox, I'm not anti-PlayStation, any of that stuff, but great for one of them to come out first. Honestly, one of them would always come out first, okay? There's no way around that. Xbox Series X coming out first week in November, great. But can they actually give units out? Same thing with PlayStation. PS5 comes out mid-November. Awesome. Can they get units out? I think that's going to be the problem. There's been talk, really, from both of them. PlayStation definitely has had the talk that they've had a more tough time with the development of their their system, basically, and shipping it out. But both companies have said numerous times, like, hey, we're still doing November. We're gonna ship. We're gonna ship as many as we possibly can. We're gonna get into as many hands as we can and go from there. So in terms of what this means, if Xbox Series X comes out first week, Sony comes out, or PS5 comes out after that, that's something. Ultimately, again, like I said, one of these systems was going to come out first. Ultimately, I buy a system for the games. I do think price is a very big thing, though, and I like factor, and I also think release date is a pretty big factor. Although what I will say is I don't think release date is as important as people say. People are probably going to say, like, oh, you're such a Sony fan and you've been supporting them and all that stuff. Look, even if PlayStation came out first, same kind of thing. Ultimately, I think people are going to get one, and people are going to get another, are going to get the other. I don't know if 1 to 2 weeks of releasing is going to make that much of a difference. Ultimately, too, you do have to think of what they said, too, is games like Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, Cyberpunk, some of these games that are going to be those next-gen games. And by the way, not even all of them. In fact, fact, I think only Call of Duty is actually going to be having a next-gen version at its launch, right? I think Cyberpunk said it's later. Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, all these games have said, yeah, we're going to come to next-gen, like a next-gen version, but we're going to come later. So, again, even if PS5, okay, because people may say, like, okay, you're just anti-Xbox. If PS5 came out first, it would kind of be the same thing. The games ultimately make the system, in my opinion. So whichever one comes out first, yes, they do have a lead, right? They're gonna win that week in terms of the sales. Like, there's just no way they would lose that, right? They're gonna win that. They're gonna sell units because it's a new console. People are gonna buy it. But ultimately, I think the floodgates kind of open with the games that come out. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So I think both of them will do well, no matter where they, if they both come out the same day. I mean, that would actually be kind of interesting. If one comes out a week before the other, if Xbox comes out first, it'll do well. When PlayStation comes out, it'll do well. I think what's the real telling thing is when the exclusives come out, when Miles Morales comes out, how is that going to sell the PS5? When, I guess, the media, it's tough, and people will probably criticize me. Microsoft doesn't have a big exclusive for the Series X, okay? I will say that. I don't think that's unfair to say. Halo Infinite was going to be it, okay? But Black Friday will be a real telling sign. Honestly, though, besides games, the other factor is price. I will give it to Xbox, where if Xbox Series X comes out, and it comes out a week and a half before PS5, and it's $100 cheaper, let's say. Or, also you're going to have the Lockhart, the digital edition. Say that's $300. Say the Xbox Series X is $400. Say PS5 ends up being $500 and $400. Well, you have the Series X comes out, and you're going at $400 and $300. So it's $100 cheaper than both of the Sony ones. And actually, if you go your digital to their disc version, it's $200 cheaper. You do that, and you come out earlier. That is a big, I think that actually helps them a lot. I really do. So, we've been talking about this for months. Both these companies obviously have been, I think, pushing it off as far as humanly possible. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be really interesting. Look, at the end of the day, I think to, again, just make it clear, I'm not part of the console wars. I'm not rooting for either of these consoles to fail. In fact, I'm rooting for both of them to succeed, okay? I want good games on both these consoles. Really, it's just that. To be honest with you, consoles, like, yes, I am a PlayStation gamer. I've had PlayStation consoles for a long time. I'm getting the PS5, all that stuff. But I mean, the games is what draws me in. The system itself, I mean, it's just a system. It's just a company. You know what I mean? It really, ultimately, I want these games to be good. So I'm not rooting for Microsoft to fail. I want their games to be good. I guess you could say, by extension, then I want their system to be good. So we'll have to see how it all, works out. I do think that, and my gut has always kind of told me this, and we have said this, right, in past videos, it does seem very likely that Xbox, well, one, is definitely going to be cheaper, okay, than PlayStation. That seems to have been the case for, I think, multiple months. You could kind of see the writing on the walls. And honestly, as we've gotten closer, I think it's also become more and more apparent that Xbox probably is going to release first as well. So they probably will have those two advantages, okay? I think they will, and they're going to need them, honestly, because if we're being fair to both sides, PlayStation has the games this fall, or this, holiday season. Microsoft really doesn't have anything. Yes, they have the third-party games, but their own games they really don't. And then, but Microsoft has coming out first and also has a ridiculous price. Okay, so and also, by the way, like, they are two systems, two very different systems. Xbox does things better than PlayStation, right? I think the best way people have kind of put it is, like, graphically, Series X will probably look better. Like, it can actually push visuals more. PlayStation may, with ray tracing, it may run faster, loading time, stuff like that. They both have their, their strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so again, gonna be really cool. Obviously, I think next month, actually just a few days from now, here we go into September, right? We should get our answers very, very soon. So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Are you excited about Series X coming out first? Are you excited about PlayStation coming out second? However you want to word that, let me know. Which one are you going to get? All those things, let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. Like I said, join our Discord server if you guys have not yet already. And as more of this PlayStation, Xbox news comes out, I'll absolutely be covering it on the channel, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.